recording, and it's going to come up with that little pop-up for everybody.
And students, just know that you can certainly, if you can't share your screen, I totally understand. You guys are always juggling a million things. If you need to ask questions along the way, please do so. Please take advantage of the chat box feature. You're all Zoom experts at this point, so don't be afraid to chime in at any point.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll start with hi. I'm Melanie Roman. I'm the volunteer coordinator here at the Maritime Aquarium at Norwalk. And just a little bit about me. I went to the University of New Hampshire for a degree in English teaching, which is teaching English grades 7 through 12, so secondary technically. But then I transitioned over into working in nonprofit and working for aquariums because I started volunteering here in 2015, and I moved to Seattle for 2 years, volunteered out there at the Seattle Aquarium, and then came back here as a part-time educator, and then was brought on full-time in 2020. So it's been a long road to get here, but my journey, just like with so many others who work here at the aquarium and other facilities as well, I started in volunteering. So a lot of people get their start in this sphere in either volunteering or internships. So I just have a short presentation to just kind of go over some of the offerings that we have here at the aquarium. And if you have any specific questions, I am welcome to take them at the end, just because I want to make sure that we hit them all. But at any point, if you want to put it in the chat box, you are free to do so.
And students, if you'd like, you can pin the Maritime Aquarium where the presentation will be. You can pin that particular box just by hitting the 3 dots. And hit the 3 dots and just hit pin. It's the second option down, and that way you could see it a little bit larger for yourself.
All right, can everyone see the presentation?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, Caitlin. All right. So here at the aquarium, we kind of have 3 different, well, typically it was 2 different opportunities for people to explore a career in science and working at an aquarium, what it's like to work for an organization certified by the AZA, the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. And then we now have this new fellowship program that I'll be able to talk to you a bit about. But traditionally, we've had our internships and our volunteering opportunities. So we'll start off with our internships, which are definitely one of our most popular programs and our most competitive program. Just like at any other facility, we are limited to be able to take on a certain number of people for internships, but we do internships 3 times a year. There's a summer session, a fall session, and a spring session. So our internships are for college age students, ages 18 and up typically. So you can explore career opportunities in education, conservation, and animal husbandry. Just a little bit of background, we do have a $50 administrative fee to cover the cost of background check, uniform, shirt, and ID badge if you are accepted. We are also currently requiring proof of COVID-19 vaccination. We do have limited exceptions to that policy. And right now, applications for our summer 2022 internships are due by April 1st. They are slightly rolling, and we actually might be closing our applications for our marine mammal internship, but I'm still going to talk a little bit about it anyways, in case you may be interested in applying in the future, may not necessarily this summer. So we're going to start off with our animal husbandry and mammals internships. So these will begin the week of May 16th, 2022 and run through August 14th, 2022. If you have a specific circumstance where you need to change your beginning or start date to any internship, not just animal husbandry, you just let the internship coordinator know if you are accepted to that internship. Individuals are required to complete a minimum of 22 hours per week for a minimum of 14 weeks. And the husbandry and mammals internships also complete an original project at the conclusion of the internship. Typically, most people come in 3 times a week to fulfill that 22 hours per week requirement. And for both of these internships, you'll learn how to maintain exhibits, prepare diets, complete water quality testing, which is essential for an aquarium, learn how to keep records for animals, and be introduced to animal health assessments, quarantine procedure, and aquarium system design, including life support systems. So specifically for our animal husbandry internship, you can work in one of 5 different areas in our animal husbandry department. So first we have jellies. So all of our jellies that we have here at the aquarium, you'll work in our culture lab and also work with our giant Pacific octopus and lionfish. We also have our tropical fish and invertebrates, which includes our sea turtles, our temperate fish and invertebrates, which works mainly in our Long Island Sound gallery, and our shark and ray touch tank. Then we have our birds and reptiles, and you'll learn to care for the collection of those animals. So our land reptiles, our amphibians, and our birds. We do have 3 birds here. We have 2 parrots and 1 quail. And you'll also work with our animal ambassadors that go down on the floor at our Sea Star stage for our animal encounter presentations. And last but not least, we have reserves and quarantine, which is kind of our hospital section where we can take care of animals that are undergoing medical treatments, or they might be new arrivals to our facility that need to quarantine before they're allowed to enter one of our existing exhibits. And this section also works with our large sharks in the open ocean tank, as well as our sandbar sharks in our new exhibit, Shark Haven. And then we have our mammals internship, which falls under the husbandry umbrella. So for the mammals internship, you'll learn about diet prep, exhibit maintenance, which can be kind of specific for mammals because there are different regulations for mammals than there are for fish. Enrichment design and implementation, so how to administer environmental enrichment for our mammals. You'll learn public speaking skills, because you may have to assist with our seal training and feeding demonstrations, and you'll learn how positive reinforcement training works. That basically covers our internship offerings. I forgot the slide about our education internship. We do have an education internship. So if animals aren't quite your style, but you still want to really be involved in conservation education, and working with kids, if you really love working with kids, we do have our education internship where you will work on the floor of the aquarium at our touch tanks alongside our volunteer gallery ambassadors and other educators. You'll work in our summer camp, so you will get some hands-on experience what it's like to work with a summer camp and how to teach children. And you'll also do a final project in that internship as well that includes how curriculum design elements. You'll learn how to create curriculum for conservation education. Next, we have our fellowship in animal husbandry, and this is a brand new initiative that launched 2 weeks ago. So I'm very excited to be able to share this opportunity with everybody. It's one of the first of its kind in the zoo and aquarium world, and we're very proud of it and very, very excited to see where this program goes. So this fellowship will be for 2 candidates from underrepresented demographics with the opportunity to work intensively in our aquarium alongside our full-time staff. It's a lot more involved than our internships and will function essentially as a full-time position. You'll work full-time for 1 year. And that is from 1 year from date of hire. We are accepting people on a rolling basis for this fellowship, but it is limited to that 1 year, and you'll be paid $16 an hour with full benefits. And you'll get some hands-on learning, mentorship, and professional support. And once again, proof of COVID-19 vaccination or exemption. That's required for all of the positions here at the aquarium. So it is aimed at underrepresented racial and ethnic communities, including but not limited to this list here. So that would be persons of color, indigenous peoples, African Americans, Hispanic and Latino Americans, Native Americans, Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, and others who are traditionally underrepresented in zoos and aquariums. So once again, acceptance for the fellowship is rolling and will run for 1 year from date of hire. And kind of the biggest thing of this fellowship and something that makes it incredibly unique is that you'll earn an open water scuba certification from a nationally recognized training agency at no cost to you. The aquarium will be taking on the entire cost of that certification, and that certification is required in many zoos and aquariums and research facilities, especially if you're working in marine biology. But the exorbitant cost of it can be incredibly preventative for some people to enter this field, even if they really, really want to. So we're very happy to and very excited to be offering that certification at no cost to fellows. And next we have our volunteering opportunities. So say you don't have a whole lot of time to dedicate to an internship or to the fellowship, since that one is a year and it is full-time. Volunteering is another great way to explore this career field and to get experience in this career field. So our main form of volunteering here at the aquarium, and all the people that you see at the touch tanks here at the aquarium, are all called gallery ambassadors. And they're our biggest cohort of volunteers. We have about 200 of them. And their main goals are to interpret our mission and our exhibits to our guests. So not quite language interpretation, but you're making the exhibit and the animals accessible to people. Our gallery ambassadors also educate our guests about Long Island Sound and our animal ambassadors. They interact with our guests at our touch tanks and other exhibits. They enhance the guest experience. And gallery ambassadors inspire guests to act to preserve and protect our local and global environment. For gallery ambassadors, as I said, it's a much lesser commitment than an internship or the fellowship. Working adults and students are asked to commit to 1 4-hour shift per month. So if this is a field you really want to explore and you really want to get involved, this is a great way to do it at minimal commitment. If your work schedule or your school schedule doesn't permit for you to commit to something more long-term or intensive. In the summertime, non-working students are asked to commit to 1 4-hour shift per week. But say you have a job during the summertime between semesters, it's still that 1 4-hour shift per month commitment. And a minimum commitment of 100 hours is required before letters of recommendation, verification documents will be signed. We do have other volunteering opportunities besides our gallery ambassadors. So we have 4 other ways that you can volunteer here at the aquarium. So we have our animal husbandry volunteering, which a lot of it is exactly the same as the internship, except the commitment is a little bit less. I believe you have to come in once a week for, I believe, 4 weeks. So it is still a little bit less than the internship, not as long-term. It's not a 14-week, 3 times a week commitment. And you still work in one of those 5 areas. So tropical fish, temperate fish, jellies, birds and reptiles, and reserves and quarantine. And same with marine mammals. So you'll be working directly with the terrestrial and aquatic mammal collection. You'll assist staff during training sessions and presentations, and then do all the same things as the internship, like maintaining the exhibits, preparing diets, doing water quality testing, and record keeping. And then we have our dive team, which I know currently there is a waiting list to get on the dive team. But if you still really want to apply, I highly encourage you to do so. For the dive team, however, you need certain certifications, which include advanced open water certification, 25 logged open water dives, DAN insurance, first aid, and CPR certification. And our dive team primarily at the moment does exhibit cleaning dives. So they go into our seal exhibit, Pinniped Cove, and our open ocean shark tank among the animals, and they clean the exhibits. But we are working on getting back to doing our interactive and educational dive presentations in our open ocean shark tank. So we are working towards returning to that, but unfortunately, they are not occurring at the moment. And then we also offer kind of a different volunteer experience with our guest services team. So that is a lot with assisting with basic operations of the day, helping out in our 4D theater, helping out in our coffee shop, line expediting, assisting with crowd control, and interacting with guests and providing them with exceptional customer service. All right, well, that was very quick. But does anyone have any questions about any of the opportunities, whether it's the internships, the fellowship, or the volunteering?
Now, Melanie, I know your title is volunteer coordinator, but am I safe to venture a guess that you are our primary point of contact for the internships and the fellowship opportunities as well?
I am the primary point of contact for internships, but not for the fellowship, actually. Our animal husbandry director, Barrett Christie, is the contact for our fellowship program, since he is the sponsor and creator of that program, which is amazing. And if you have any questions about the fellowship and you need more information about it, you can go on our website. And at the very top of the screen, there's a little section that says join our team in the right center side of the page. And then you click that and then click careers for the fellowship. And the listing is on that page.
Thank you for that. And Madison's so funny. Madison and I are on the same page. She's wondering if she's able to apply to the internship and the volunteer opportunity sort of at the same time, just in case the internship doesn't work. I'm sure you see that often. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm seeing questions come through the chat. Yeah, so if you would like to apply for the internship, but it doesn't work out, you can absolutely apply to be a volunteer. And that's, another way to get experience. And then maybe, because you're a volunteer, and if you reapply for the internship at a later time, since they already know you and you formed a relationship with them, they may be more likely to choose you to bring on as an intern. And we have done that before. People that have started volunteering have come into either internship positions and maybe later down the road staff positions. All right, let me scroll up through the chat and see our other questions. Caitlin asked, what would the hours be for volunteering? For gallery ambassador, we have 2 shifts. It's 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And then our second shift of the day is 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. In the summertime, we are open until 6 o'clock. So we are open for an hour later. So those shifts are a half hour longer in the summertime. And the husbandry internships, husbandry's day starts at 7:30 and they work until 3:30, and then mammals is 8:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. Let's see, Samantha. Yes, Samantha, I do have your application. Yes. So yes, you're welcome. Yes, and I sent it over to the animal husbandry department. Yes, you were able to self-schedule for volunteering. And that was to Madison. And Luke asked if you can choose the area you volunteer for. Absolutely, yes, you can choose which one you want. So on our website, there are separate applications for the different volunteerships. So there's a different application for gallery ambassador, there's a separate one for animal husbandry, and a separate one for marine mammal. The mammal internship applications, I do know that they did send acceptance letters to two candidates already. We're still waiting to hear back if they have accepted. If you would like to apply, you are welcome to, but you may have better luck applying for animal husbandry.
How about for students who are interested in potentially fall internships and beyond? When do those applications typically go live? I know it's somewhat rolling, but
Yeah, so the fall internships we start getting, we typically put those applications up for fall in the summertime, like beginning of summer at like June, because the summer internship will have already started.
okay. And I think, did we miss one? It was about types of projects that have been done through the internship.
Yes. For our education internship, this is the first year that we're having our education interns do a project, and we're really trying to prioritize that. For animal husbandry, a lot of people do behavioral studies, they'll do maybe a water quality study, something to do with enrichment for the animals. So they'll try to develop like kind of a new type of enrichment for them. Unfortunately, we can't allow our interns to be super hands-on with the animals, especially like our big mammals and the sharks. But there have been lots of different types of projects surrounding that. I know at some point there was a husbandry internship project where the person designed an app to track the behavior of one of our, I think our meerkats. So instead of doing like a paper ethogram is what a behavioral study is actually called. Instead of doing it on paper, they developed an app to do it digitally. As a full-time student, would a fall internship not be doable due to school hours and the internship schedule? The internship schedule for the summer is a lot more intensive than it is for the school year. I need to get the specifics on the fall internship schedule and how animal husbandry handles that. Yes, we do have the animal husbandry and the mammal volunteers. Mhm.
And I think the biggest thing that's on our students' minds often is, will they be mentored? And will there be an opportunity for them to expand what their experiences are during the internship, fellowship, volunteer experience if they show an interest, right? So if they're assigned to a specific cohort or group, can they say to whomever it is that's observing them, can I dive into something else prior to the end of my internship? Do you allow flexibility like that?
I know that it's hard to, I don't know of anyone that's ever transferred between, say, animal husbandry and mammals,
Sure.
just because there are a limited number of spaces, because we do have limited staff that are available to mentor. Um, I'm not sure about between the 5 different sub areas of husbandry. Um, I'm sure that it's a possibility, especially if that student really communicates their needs to their mentor. Every department, so whether it's mammals or the sub departments of animal husbandry or education, every intern is assigned a mentor, whether that's the main coordinator in the case of education, or staff members from husbandry. They are paired with a mentor that meets with them weekly, and they help them do their project, approve their project plan. And then they also do, we run professional developments as well, on top of just the daily experience and the project as well. How many interns do we accept? Typically, it is 2 per department, depending on department. For mammals, it is 2. For tropical, I believe it's 2, temperate 2, reserves, I think is 1, jellies is 2, and I'm missing one of the birds and reptiles is 2. Education accepts 5. We're able to take on a few more people.
You don't prioritize undergraduate students versus graduate level students, correct? It's sort of just based on interest level and fit. Okay.
Yeah, interest level, fit, interview as well, because we do require an interview for all candidates, just so we can get to know you. You can get to know us. You can ask the internship coordinators any questions, like specific questions that they'll have the better answers to. I'm kind of the general point person. And there are other staff members within the husbandry and education departments that work directly with the interns. If you volunteer instead, I'm your point person. We also have a couple other people in the volunteer department that are staff people, but I'm the head overseer for the entire department.
And oftentimes what we find is if these students are seeking academic credit for an internship, volunteer programs, as long as it meets the hourly requirement, suffices just as good, because it's the same experience, like you said, Melanie, before. It's just spread out a bit more, right? Rather than being intensive and more days a week. So, students certainly be open-minded to both options if you are seeking academic credit for the future terms.
Exactly. We've had other people in the past use our volunteership as an internship and just have their hours certified once they meet that 100-hour requirement, which in the summer is incredibly doable. And the minimum requirement is, again, a minimum. You are allowed to come in as often as you want. So there's no restriction on being here.
And our students that are in the room that are maybe more interested in the education role, right? Because this was promoted to both our STEM folks and then our education folks, and some may even have both. The population that they'd be serving, it's a pretty wide range of age ranges, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Our education interns work with ages, I think our youngest camp, at least for the summer, our youngest camp is 6 is the minimum age, and then the oldest is 14. So 6 to 14. So it's a pretty wide range. So elementary all the way up through beginning of high school. And then if you are an education intern during the school year, you go out on educational programs like travel programs with the educators to local schools to facilitate different activities, whether that is a touch tank activity, whether it's a like stream tables activity where children learn about the effects of erosion. There's a wide variety of programming that we do in our travel programs, and that can be anywhere from preschool all the way up to college.
This is very helpful. Thank you, Melanie.
You're welcome.
Hopefully we didn't miss any questions, but if we did, please feel free to unmute if that's easier for you.
If you have any questions that pop up later, my email is on the screen, and my phone number as well. So you're welcome to send me an email, give me a call at any time if you have any specific questions that pop up after the session.
And the way that career development can help you here at Sacred Heart is if you do plan to apply to any of the opportunities listed and you need help compiling all of the necessary documents or preparing for the interview or anything in between. We are here to fill in the blanks and happy to support you. So please feel free to email career development, and I'll shoot the email in the chat box as well. Any other questions while I do that? It's been great with your questions, I must say.
Yeah, I agree. I normally don't get many. I think it's stage fright.
This is an eager crowd, so you know that you've already received some applications, but you will likely receive more. And I do encourage you all to have further conversations and discussions, especially about that fellowship. Luke, I encourage you to reach out to Melanie directly just to sort of gauge, where your background lies in regards to the qualifications of the role, because it is a really intriguing opportunity for sure.
Yeah, I can always connect with Barry Christie and ask him any specific questions that you may have. I can pass those along to him.
Thank you for that. Well, we appreciate your time and for recording the session for those who missed. And I'll be sure to also relay all the wonderful information to our faculty so they can continue to have these great conversations about maritime and how wonderful it is. Students, if you haven't had a chance to visit the facility, it's wonderful, it's engaging, and I'm sure you would enjoy it just from a recreational purpose if this program doesn't necessarily fit at the current time for you. It's a lot of fun there for sure.
Yes, we just opened our new seal exhibit last summer, and we opened our new meerkat exhibit at the end of December. So if you haven't been here in a very long time, it's going to look very, very different to you. And we have a lot more exciting changes coming down the pipeline as well.
Excellent. Okay, well, hopefully they all can be a part of those wonderful changes. Well, thank you again. We will wrap it up. Students, I appreciate you all asking questions and being here. And I know you're busy, so please feel free to reach out with us with any further questions as they come to be. You're welcome, Madison.
Thank you very much.
Bye, everybody.
You're all welcome. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you so much, Melanie.
Thank you.